What's up, fight fans? I'm the extra scenes in the Hobbit nobody asked for of mixed martial arts, Tommy Toho, and this is Triple THS. Let's do this shit! Finally, fight fans, I'm fucking back, and of course, it wouldn't be fight night if I didn't make my picks for Kountermove Fantasy MMA at Kountermove.com. And oh shit, do we got a good one. UFC on Fox 15 is fucking awesome. First of all, it's on Fox, as in the Fox that's on your regular TV without any cable. As in the Fox you can watch on a tiny TV while you take a shit Fox. Not only is it on Fox, but this card kicks ass. Lyoto Machida and Luke Rockhold main event easily could be a title fight. Two champions. You got a Rocky story in Jacare taking on Chris Camozzi. Killer Cubs coming back. Guys, there's a million different stories. You're gonna fucking love it. You're gonna fucking watch it. But you know what would make it a million times better? Kountermove Fantasy MMA at Kountermove.com. What's that? You don't know how to play it? I mean, after all these videos, you still have no idea how to play? Well, let me break it down for you. The first step is to select a game. There are free games, small games, and big games for all major MMA events. Next, you're gonna pick a team of 5 fighters. Each game is played over the course of a single fight card, and you have $25,000 for $10 to draft a team of 5 fighters. Once you pick your team, you're ready for the last step. Score points and win. Once the fights begin, you get points based on how your fighters perform. Points are awarded for strikes landed, submissions attempted, knockdowns, dominant positions, rounds won, and knockout or submission bonuses. The team with the most points at the end of the night wins the tournament. It is that fucking simple, and this Saturday night, I have got a $10,000 tourney for you. First prize gets $1,000, the top 77 payout. It's an awesome card, it's an awesome counter move game. You know how to play, you know you want to, but let's get down to business. Let's talk picks. Keep in mind, fight fans, we want finishes and we want them fast. All right, first up, we've got Eddie Gordon taking on Chris Dempsey. Both guys are 50-50 with finish rates. Gordon is a Sarah Longo fighter. He's got some really good training. He was decimated in his last fight by Josh Salmon. He did, however, win his UFC debut via first round KO. Dempsey lost his debut via first round KO. 7 of his 12 fights have gone into the 3rd round. He does, however, have 1 first round stop. Eddie Gordon is probably going to win this fight, but both these guys don't have a ton of experience. It's a shot in the dark. I would not risk this one, especially with Eddie Gordon being 5,400. I think if Dempsey does win, however, it will likely be a decision or at least go late into the fight. Dempsey if you gotta. All right, next up we've got Diego Brandao taking on Jimmy Hedis. Brandao's got a bunch of experience. He's on a 2-fight skid in the UFC. Both were first round losses. All of his finishes in the UFC have been in the first round, but he has been KO'd 6 times. Hedis is a fucking submission master. He has 10 submission victories, a very high finish rate, but his last first round finish was in 2010. I think Brandao bounces back with this one. I think he gets the victory, but I'm not sure he gets it quick. I'm gonna avoid this one as well. I wouldn't sleep on Hedis, but Brandao's a black belt. He's a Team Jackson guy. I don't picture him getting subbed. All right, next up, we've got George Sullivan taking on Tim Means. Sullivan has a pretty decent finish rate. He's got 11 KOs and TKOs and 16 wins. He's 2-0 in the UFC, and 4 of his last 5 have finished via TKO KO. Means is a crafty vet. He's been around for a very long time. 23 wins with 16 KO TKOs. He has never been stopped in the UFC, and he did finish his last fight with a first round TKO. I think this is a great fight for Tim. Both of these guys are gonna bang. You're definitely gonna want to pick on this one, but the deciding factor for me is that Tim Means has never been finished in the UFC, and I don't see that happening this time either. I'm going with Tim Means via stoppage. All right, next up we've got Takeya Mizugaki taking on Aljamain Sterling. Mizugaki has a ton of high-level experience, but he has 14 decisions in 20 wins. His last finish was in 2011. In his last fight, he was absolutely destroyed by Dominic Cruz. Sterling's relatively new. He's 10-0, has a decent finish rate. He's a Sarah Longo guy, and he's got 3 first-round finishes. I'm going with Sterling on this one, but I do think that Mizugaki is not going to let him stop him, and if he does, it won't be till very late in the fight. I would avoid this one, fight fans, but if you have to put somebody on your team, I would go with Sterling to get the stop. All right, next we have Corey Anderson taking on Gian Vellante. Corey is 6-0. He doesn't have a ton of pro experience. He won his UFC debut via round 1 KO. All of his finishes are in the first round, but that's only 3 wins. Vellante has been around for a very long time. He's got a lot of high-level experience. He's got a pretty high finish rate, and he has 9 first-round finishes. I love this fucking pick. Vellante is only 4,600, and I think he gets the stop here. This one's my upset pick. I'm going with Gian Vellante via KO. All right, next up we have OSP taking on Patrick Cummins. An interesting matchup. OSP has the high-level experience. He has finished 4 of his last 6, but he did lose to Bader, a very strong wrestler. And speaking of strong wrestlers, Patrick Cummins is a strong wrestler. He has had 3 wins since his loss to Cormier in his debut, but he only has 1 finish in the UFC. I think this one comes down to how well OSP can handle Patrick Cummins wrestling. If he is able to neutralize it, look for OSP to win big here. If he is not, this could be a very, very long night, but I do not think he gets finished. I'm going with OSP. He is on a roll right now. I think he might get an early stop. All right, next up, we've got Jim Miller taking on Beneil Dariush. What is there to say about Jim Miller? He's been around for a million years. He's got a ton of big fights. 14 submission wins, 5 first-round finishes in the UFC. Dariush is no joke, though. 10-1, very high finish rate. He has never been subbed, but he does not have the high-level experience that Jim Miller has. I think that is the difference in this one. I think Jim Miller wins. He might win via submission. I know Dariush has never been subbed, but there's always a first for everything. And at 4,900, Jim Miller is a pretty solid pick. All right, next up, we've got Felice Herrig taking on Paige Van Zant. Felice has been around for a very long time. She has a lot of high-level experience. 7 of her last 8 wins, however, have been decisions. She has never been stopped. Van Zant is 21 years old. She won her UFC debut via 3rd round TKO. She does not have a ton of experience. She only has 5 fights. She has not been stopped, but then again, she's only fought 5 times. I think this one goes to Herrig. I think she's going to want to make a statement in this fight. There's a lot of hype around Van Zant. Herrig has the experience. She's fought people at the highest level. However, I think it will go to a decision. 7 of her last 8 have gone the full length. I do think Felice wins here, but in terms of your counter move points, if it goes the distance, I'm not sure she does enough damage to warrant putting her on your team. Felice wins via UD. All right, next up, we have Cub Swanson taking on Max Holloway. Cub Swanson is a bad motherfucker. He has a pretty damn high finish rate for 21 wins. He has been subbed 4 times, but he has seen it all from everybody. Max Holloway, young guy, student of the game, incredibly durable. He's on a 5-fight win streak in the UFC. He has 4 finishes in his last 5 wins. He has never been KO'd. This is a great fucking fight. I think it'll be fight of the night. I think if you pick either one of these guys, you're gonna get a really high score. But I have to give the edge to Cub Swanson. He has an incredible camp. The dude is an absolute killer. He's looking to bounce back after that big loss. And at 4,500, holy shit, that's a great pick. I'm going with Cub Swanson to get the stop, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd, but this fight's gonna have a lot of activity. There's gonna be a lot of points all around. All right, next up, we've got Jacare Souza taking on Chris Camozzi. Jacare Souza is one of the most terrifying human beings on the fucking planet. He has 15 subs in 21 wins. His last loss was in 2011. He has fought at the highest level for a very long time. He has 4 round 1 finishes in his last 6 fights. Now, Chris Camozzi took this fight on about 5 seconds notice. This dude has the biggest balls in the fucking world. He won his last fight. It was outside the UFC, but it was a 1st round sub. These two have fought before. They fought in 2013. Souza won via 1st round sub. It's interesting where both these guys are at in their career right now. I think Camozzi's back on the upswing, but Jacare is just murdering people. I think very soon he'll be competing for a title. I think he's every bit worth that 5,400. I am going to go with Jacare Souza. I think he gets a sub, and I think he gets it in the 1st round. And finally, we have the main event of the evening. Lyoto Machida taking on Luke Rockhold. Fuck yes, this fight is going to be awesome. Machida has 11 decisions in 22 wins. He has fought everybody in the fucking world. This is a man who will not get rattled by big fights. 2 of his last 3 have been 1st round TKO KOs. Luke Rockhold is a submission master. He has 8 subs in 13 wins. His only recent loss is to Vitor when he spammed the spinning head kicks. All of his UFC wins have been finishes. This fight is a whole bunch of fun. I think it could end up going long. If Machida wins, it's gonna be a decision and it's gonna be a drawn out decision, but I don't think that's the case. I think Luke catches him. I think Luke gets him on the ground, and I think Luke subs him. At 5,500, he's pretty pricey, and Lyoto Machida has been known to be very elusive. Do not sleep on the dragon. I'm going with Rockhold to win this one, but to me, there are a few other picks on this card much more likely to happen. I'm gonna avoid this fight. All right, now that you know all the matchups, it's time to pick your team. You can pick whoever the fuck you want. I am going with Tim Means, Gian Vellante, Jacare Souza, Cub Swanson, and OSP. Once you've chosen your team, hit the play now button, invite some friends, and from now to fight night, you can adjust your team. Maybe you wake up at midnight and go, oh fuck, I don't want Jacare. Take him off your team, switch it. As long as you do it before the fights start, you can switch it all you want. This card's gonna kick ass. Everybody knows it is. Fight fans, you know what would be even more kick ass? $1,000. Imagine that. You finish watching the fight, you end up in 1st place in my counter move game, and now a free card that was awesome got you $1,000 fucking bucks. Seriously, if you've never tried it, what the fuck are you doing? It is the most fun you can have watching MMA. Sign up today, have your friends sign up, have your mother sign up, get in my tourney, get in Crooklyn's tourneys, make your own fucking tourney. I'm telling you, give it a shot. It's easy, it's fun, you're gonna fucking love it. For everybody Triple THS, I'm Tommy Toehold. I will see you on the leaderboards. I will also see you in hell. I'm just kidding, you seem pretty nice.